rapping, swipe left, yeah, no more drama. Boy, you know you blessed. Last night was a mess. God just hit refresh. Stressed out with no luck. Every time I wake up,
You know you can smile this way.
get a chance to wake up. Thank God I got a chance.
This is Aru Proctor here with the Proctor Report. I am here at GoodTrip Gallery right here in downtown Raleigh. I am here with Chris' sister. How you doing, Aaliyah?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Doing good. So I know you have watched your brother. Y'all have an age gap.
Mm-hmm.
So how has it been being in the shadows and watching him create and start the gallery and being in that creative space?
I would say very inspirational
I love
for
it.
one. Yeah. I feel like I've kind of seen the whole I've definitely seen the whole process.
Definitely,
so
yeah.
yeah, definitely inspirational. As a child, I always remember him like sitting me down and asking me to like pose for him or like, you know, let him draw me.
He was his guinea pig, huh?
Yeah, definitely, always. So, I mean, yeah, it's just cool to see how he's evolved and where he's at today.
I love it. Do you have a favorite painting in here?
The one of myself.
I was just like, clearly, we just announced that she's on the wall. It's super dope. She didn't even know it was her, so
no.
amazing.
Before I saw that one, probably the giraffe is my favorite one.
I love it. Y'all gotta see that.
Yeah.
So when it comes to you and being in a creative space, where do you create?
The gym. The gym.
Yeah, and it helps you definitely relieve stress.
Yeah,
helps
definitely,
everybody with their mental health.
Right.
So there's so many different ways you can create. It doesn't have to be per se with art or music.
Yeah.
So you create in your own way.
Yeah, I'm not the painter or tattoo artist.
That's okay. That's okay. So what does inspire you to continue to go to the gym?
Just being healthy and seeing how unhealthy you know, the food options are today. So just being conscious of my health and wanting to stay in shape.
I love it. And I noticed that in the picture you have on a gym outfit.
Yeah.
So I love it. I love it. This is Aru Proctor. And this is Aaliyah right here at GoodTrip Gallery. This is Aru Proctor here with the Proctor Report. I'm here hailing from my alma mater, North Carolina Central University. How you doing?
Doing fine.
It's so good to have you here. I know you normally in front of the camera.
For sure.
So now you're on this side of the lens.
Yes.
How does it feel?
It's cool. It's something different. I make YouTube videos, but you know, it's normally me being behind the camera, but it's something new. It's cool.
So is that your creative space?
Yeah, I'm a music producer.
Okay.
I do photography, videography, fashion design, and yeah. But the thing that I like about these, and it's kind of, I look at it just how I make a beat, is every single painting is going to tell a story.
Yes.
With whatever he was thinking about at the time, whatever emotions, he gonna paint it. Exactly. You know, like I saw the Crenshaw one with Nipsey.
Man.
That J. Cole.
Yes.
So I can definitely relate.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I can too. Music has gotten me through some rough times. Can you tell me a time when you were able to create in the midst of adversity?
Probably about like 4 years ago when my aunt passed away to breast cancer. I don't know. It wasn't a good place to go out in the streets and, you know what I'm saying, do things that'll get me locked up. So I chose, you know what I'm saying, let me put my mind to the music.
Definitely.
And to the camera so that I can have a voice.
Definitely. And with all the things we're seeing in the news and, seeing, men and women being hurt, police brutality, all of that, creativity is so important because it's where you can really speak without even using your voice.
For sure.
Speak with the camera, speak with painting, with your canvas. So I commend anybody out there that's continuing to, to continue to push forward no matter what your adversity you're dealing with, no matter what you're dealing with. So thank you so much for coming with us.
Sure,
This is the
thank
Proctor
you.
Report. It's your girl, Aru Proctor, here with the Proctor Report. We are here at the GoodTrip Gallery. It's amazing to see amazing art, especially in the community right here in Raleigh. So Solomon, what does art mean to you?
What art means to me is just being able to express yourself any way you want. I don't really just see art as, paintings and stuff like that. Art can be, whatever you want it to be. It's just how you express yourself and having no boundaries when you do that. That's what art means to me.
I love it. So you are creative. How do you express yourself?
I make music. I do graphic design. I do things like that. My mom, she used to be a teacher, so as a young age, she always taught us just to be creative and be able to stand out.
Definitely.
So that was instilled in me at a young age. But yeah, music, graphic design, a whole lot of other stuff with my friends here. We take pictures, you know, that's fun. So yeah.
Look, hailing from my alma mater, North Carolina Central University, okay?
Eagle Pride. Eagle Pride amplified. Get it right, you know what I'm saying?
You stay with Proctor here with the Proctor Report.
Was a mess. God just hit refresh. Stressed out with no luck. Every time I wake up, I get a chance to wake up. Thank God I got a chance to wake up. Wake up, another day that get my kick up. Kick up. 'Cause every time I wake up, I get a chance to wake up. Wake up, wake up. I'm in a new Diablo. Father trust me like I'm Pablo. Sunday service on the front.
What's up, good people? We're back right here at GoodTrip Gallery, GoodTrip Inc. We got my man Chris Evans. Chris, let the people know where we're at, man. Give them the address, bro.
We're here at GoodTrip Gallery, 416 South McDowell Street, Raleigh, North Carolina.
Man, we could throw a rock at Redhead, man. That's how close we are, brother.
Right.
Come check your boy out, man. I know you see all the wonderful art in the back. The bro code is definitely in the building. We are on site, and we're having a courageous conversation, man. First and foremost, thank you for sitting down with us, bro.
Well, thank you for
I
coming.
appreciate it, man. I want to take it back to the childhood, man. Like, I know as a kid, my creative space was Thundercats and cartoons. Like, I got excited on Saturday morning because I can get a big bowl of cereal, biggest bowl that was in the house,
Right.
and sit down and watch cartoons. You know, that was the extent of my creative space, man. I'd love to hear your thoughts on, as a creative, man, what was childhood like? Like, what was that space like? What drew you?
I mean, my earliest memory would probably be drawing cartoons like Tom and Jerry, all the Disney characters. Then it kind of transitioned into trying to draw family members and friends. But yeah, as far as my early inspiration, I think it definitely came from cartoons.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't really watch a lot of TV and movies when I was younger, so I can't really draw back to a particular TV show. But,
Okay. Do you have a favorite cartoon?
I don't think so.
No?
I can't think of a favorite
Okay.
cartoon.
But that was your big deal, was your
right.
cartoons. Okay.
Right. That was probably the earliest memory I have of drawing was cartoons.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you have anyone in the family that was a craft for them? Was there anyone close to you that did that? Or were you like the golden child?
Well, my pops, he can draw a little bit. And my uncle Maynard, he used to come to the house and would do little sketches at the kitchen table that amazed me. I don't think I'm missing anybody else. Early on, I think those were the two that I saw like in my family that could draw.
Okay. Well, we want to keep it light, man. You know, we asked 21 questions. If we're going to make it real light, everybody knows you for art.
Right.
But I always wonder, like, what else can we find out about Chris Evans? So, real quick, it's called Rapid Fire. You ready?
All right.
All right, cool. What type of milk do you put in your cereal?
2%.
2%. Okay. Would you rather be besties with Beyonce or Rihanna?
Rihanna.
Is there a story behind that?
No.
I was just curious. What's the capital of New York?
Manhattan.
Did you ever believe in Santa Claus?
Yes.
Are dogs people?
No.
Have you ever been to Africa?
Yes.
Would you eat a day-old taquito from 7-Eleven?
I don't know what that is. No.
What's the most number of hours you've watched TV in a single day?
Probably 2.
Do you Instagram your food? Are you one of the ones that take pictures and put it on Instagram?
No.
Okay. What sound does a seal make?
I don't know.
Would you rather lose all your hair or gain 50% more hair?
Gain 50% more hair.
Do you have any friends that are taller than 6'4"?
Yes.
If there's a spider in your house, do you kill it or do you set it free?
It depends on what I'm doing.
Depends on what you're doing. Okay. Chris, I'm curious, man. So now you're coming through childhood. Was art and expression in a getaway for you? Was there ever a space in your childhood? I'm curious, because we work with kids. right? And we work with kids every day. And oftentimes we ask them what their passions are, what their expressions are, what are their sparks. You know, as a kid, was that a way to get away? Was there conflict or challenges that you were dealing with and you used art as a way to kind of escape?
Not that I can remember.
Yeah?
Yeah, not that I can remember. I always just did art because I liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't like something that pushed me towards art. Yeah, it was just something I liked doing, so it
Ran
took
with it.
most of my time, yeah.
My man. Were you always a loner, or did you have a space that you had a support group even at a young age when it came to art? Like they have clubs for everything, right? Was that something that was part of your life?
No, I think I've been more of a loner, more of my life. I kind of I'd rather spend time by myself than with a group of people.
And we want to talk more about that because obviously on our show, we're big on wellness.
Right.
And how that space adds value to our life. But I appreciate you taking the time, man. We definitely want to talk more, man. Look forward to doing a little bit more here at GoodTrip Gallery.
Sounds good.
Yeah. We'll be back on the Bro Code Show. What's up, good people? It's your boy, Bro Troy. We're back. It's Black History Month. Everything black, black, black. We're at St. Aug. We have a special lady here. Introduce yourself. Let the people know who you are.
Good evening. I'm Tammy Jones. I serve as a Board of Directors member for the Triangle Educational Advancement Foundation, known in acronym as TEAF, which also oversees all of the operations for the John Wall Holiday Invitational.
Mic drop right there. Shout out to John Wall. We interviewed him at Soul Food. Shout out to Poobie and everybody there. I'm curious, how was that a thirst for you? Like, how did you get involved in that? What was the spark that led you down that path?
Interesting story, and funny you should ask. It was my now 32-year-old son, who was about 7 or 8 at the time. He solicited for ball boys in the tournament. My employer was the title sponsor then, and history tells it that he started the ball boy process, and we have been with the tournament ever since.
Wow, I once heard that you can never lose serving.
No.
Right?
No.
You know, it may not come right then. It may not even hit you, but the person next to you. And in this case, it favored your son. He's now 32. Talk about him. Like, that's your baby. Is that your only son?
No, he's the middle guy.
So talk about the middle child. Oftentimes they get lost in the sauce.
They get lost in the shuffle. Well, now he's a U.S. military leader after graduating from an HBCU and serving our country now. His older brother did the same, and his baby brother is one of the first and only person who served as a ball boy in the tournament and went on to play in the tournament and win back-to-back championships in his high school.
We're talking about Black history. When you hear that word, what does it mean to you? Like, what thoughts come to mind?
Oh, so the first thought that comes to mind with Black history is to embrace. We have to embrace our Black history so that we can and educate ourselves so that we're more equipped, not only to empower, but to encourage.
Yeah.
And to do that, we have to look back and understand our past so that we can see the struggle through the lens of our ancestors and then have a sense of our direction and how we're going to better serve so that others who come after us will be in a position to do the same thing.
Legacy. Well, they say black don't crack. So how are you preparing for wellness? Like, how do you take care of yourself? What do you do to get into that feng shui space?
Wow, that's another good question because my cup runneth over. But I find the time in there for work-life balance. I was blessed to work for a company that it was ingrained in the culture. And because of that, it became a nomadic thing for me. So work-life balance is critical. I find a way to fit those things in. Trying my best to eat proper, looking at things that have impacted family members in a medical way, and not trying to allow history to repeat itself.
I love it.
Doing that, meditation, laughter, and positive affirmation, they work.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it. They say laughter is food for the soul.
Amen.
Thank you. One thing we didn't talk about, so we're here for Amber Nichols. She's on the panel, right?
Right.
How do you fit into that? Like, how did you get involved with Amber? Talk about that.
So I've known Amber since Amber Irene Nichols came into this world. Family, you know, we are a community of family.
Yeah.
Amber became the sister that my youngest son never had, and that relationship hold strong today.
Yeah.
So another child in my home, in and out with Amber. And watching her grow into the beautiful young lady that she is today warms my heart. So I get to be an honorary aunt to Amber Nichols.
So this is a proud moment today.
Proud moment.
Well, let's go on out there and poke that chest out for Amber.
Let's do it.
All right.
And we're back, Bro Code Show with Chris Evans. Hey, I'm curious, when did you decide to turn your passion for drawing and art into a business? Like, what was it that made you say, I can make money off of this?
I was selling my drawings in high school, so I always knew art could make money.
Okay.
But I would say maybe 2 or 3 years out of high school is when I put all of my time into art. When I was trying to figure out how to quit my job. It was probably, when I was 21, 22. Yeah.
And how long has this location been open?
Since January of 2021.
Oh.
Yeah.
And so when it came to making this your full-time gig, did you go to school for this specifically?
I went to school for photography and graphic design. So in that 7, 8 months I was in college, I did learn a few skills that I kind of still use today, like basic art skills, like composition skills and stuff, but mainly it's self-taught. Mainly I learned kind of on the go, asking questions, YouTube videos, talking to other artists. So a lot of it is self-taught.
There's a big debate now as to whether college is necessary. You know, you yourself didn't get through college and didn't need to get through college. What would you say to those that are trying to decide on, should I go to 4 years, 2 years, or should I do something more experiential?
I think that college is necessary if you are like trying to be a doctor or a lawyer or something like that, where you have to have a degree. But if it's just like for a trade, something you can learn on YouTube, I would suggest trying to do it yourself, saving the money, and learning on the job.
Okay.
That would be my advice. But I'm not anti-college.
All right.
Yeah.
Understood.
Yeah.
Now, I see a lot of lions within this location. I also see a lot of Muhammad Ali.
Right.
What is it about the lion that speaks to you to where you painted him, you've got a huge lion coming in as soon as you get in the door? What is it about the lion?
Well, I'm a Leo, so that's probably my first attraction. I always liked lions. I loved like the stoic nature of a lion and how it's the king of the jungle. And then when I went to Africa back in 2016 and saw him up close, it made me even closer to him. So it's just been my favorite animal.
I feel you.
Yeah, and it connects with a lot of people. They're easy to sell. Yeah.
That is true. That's my spirit animal as well. I was actually in Africa in 2016 as well, in Cape Town.
I ain't see you out there, man.
I mean, it was a small spot. I guess what my last question might be for you is, where do you find yourself painting the most? Do you find yourself painting in the studio, out and about, in nature? Like, what brings it out of you?
So I perform a lot of live paintings at events, like weddings and grand openings and parties. So I probably paint the most in public. So I'm painting at events, and then next it will be here in the gallery, and then I paint a little bit at home, mostly out in public.
What's the next event for you?
Let's see. I have a February 18th, I'm doing a Q&A, and I'm performing a live painting at Wake County Public Library for the kids from 3 to 4:30. So it's like an after-school event for the kids over here in Cameron Village.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, how will people even find out about you? Do you have a tag on Instagram, Facebook, website?
It's GoodTrip Gallery on Instagram, and my personal page is GoodTrip INC, and the website is www.goodtripgallery.com.
All right. Well, I'm gonna save some of my questions, but it's been a pleasure meeting you, man.
Nice meeting you too.
And that'll be it.
So it's Cornelius Kirk with the Bro Code Media Team and YM4C. and you know we love mentoring. Well, we're here right now at City Hall in Durham, and we're with Dr. Monique. Hi, how are you?
I am well. I am so well.
It's so good to see you.
Good to see you.
What are we here for today?
We are here because this is the first, and hopefully it's going to be annual, Amplified Mentoring Program that we are doing here for City Council. It was laid on my heart to actually have a program where we are honoring over 54 programs that mentor youth in Durham. Mentoring is very important to me. We know that if youth are involved with mentoring programs, it increases their academic success. Sometimes it also increases their level of not being in risky behavior within communities. And research says that students and youth that are involved with mentoring will definitely move to higher levels of functioning. So I am so glad that the City Council, my team, was able to support me in this endeavor tonight.
I would love to hear why mentoring.
Mentoring, yeah.
Why is it so?
So again, mentoring is so important to me because, I'm from very humble beginnings in the South Bronx of New York, grew up in public housing, and without mentoring and programs wrapping their services around me, you would not be standing here today. And so I know that the youth in Durham, they need outlets. They need somebody that care. And so I wanted to make sure that the programs that are doing the youth mentoring in Durham are honored tonight. Not only are they honored, but they were able to get plaques and certificates because I want to give people their flowers now. They're due now. I know that with their collaborative efforts that they're going to make sure that we can try to raise our youth to another level of functioning and kind of not have them pick up a gun, but pick up a book, pick up a mentor, pick up something that's going to take them to a level of functioning. And tonight I also announced that I'm going to start a Mentoring Alliance Committee where I meet with mentor programs every 2 months to just start working on things we can do strategically to, number one, enhance mentoring in Durham, advocate for funding for mentoring programs, and that I am going to be committed to doing that with the mentoring programs in Durham.
So I have to know, we've been with you in several rooms for a couple of years, and we're here tonight with you in City Hall. Why did you call on us?
Because, listen, the Bro Code, I love the work you're doing in the community. I love the mentoring. I love what your program stands for, your agency stands for. And so when I reached out to you, it was like, no problem, Dr. Hyman, we're here. And I remember one of the podcasts where you asked me to come and talk about mentorship. And so I just saw it fitting to have you here with me tonight. Again, I was appointed in May to City Council. You knew me before this even happened. And so you've been supporting me, and I just wanted to support your program. And I was also honor you with the plaque because, again, you're doing wonderful work. And I would love to see some of that work transform in here into Durham.
Well, we're okay with accepting that. Every time you call, we're coming.
Yes.
I want to thank you again for the work you're doing in Durham to build that excellent quality of life that your vision sets.
Thank you so much. I have the again, by the grace of God, He has given me, and I know you are all so faithful, all of you. But by the grace of God, I'm standing here before you. By the grace of God, I was appointed. I never thought I would be into anything in terms of political because I've also always done things behind the scenes. It's not about a title for me. It really is about working in the community and really working with the residents here of Durham.
Well, you've heard it here, folks. Thank you, Dr. Hyman.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So we're back here on the Bro Code with Chris Evans. Chris, man, listen, a couple of things. First of all, I first met you at a mutual friend's house. And, you talk about friendships and talking to people. This friend doesn't just bring anybody around.
Right.
So I saw you walking up, and this was probably a couple years ago, but I knew at that moment, this is a good dude because he won't bring anybody to his home but good people, man. So I already know who you are in that manner. But let's talk a little bit about the art of business. I'm walking around, I'm looking at your paintings, and there's times where people will say, how do you put a price on art?
Right.
I want that Kobe over there, but it's too much. Will you come down to your price?
We'll talk about it.
Okay, so we can have a conversation.
Right.
But what goes into, going from a place of you're just painting to, now I need to put a price on this. How do you go into your pricing? Like, because I've seen stuff sell for millions and millions of dollars.
Right. I'm actually working on that right now. So I base it off three things. I base it off material, my time I put into it, and how much I like it. So okay. The pieces that you see that are less expensive are like either pieces that I rush through and don't like, or that are smaller pieces.
Yeah.
So, but I'm trying to figure out how to find that perfect price point too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I see Basquiat right there, who was a famous artist,
right,
who sold some paintings that like millions and millions, like 25 million, I think a crazy amount, maybe 100 million.
Yeah, I think so.
Where do you get your inspiration from when we talk about artists? Are there artists like him that inspire you?
Yeah, definitely. Basquiat, there's I think he's a Nigerian artist named Kehinde Wiley. He did the Barack Obama and Michelle Obama portraits, those big ones that went viral. He's a big inspiration. But a lot of local artists around here. I mean, I'm asking questions all the time. There's a guy in Oklahoma named Caleb Lee that I follow online. But a bunch of artists, man. Really, artists that are known and artists that are like painting in their house, I get inspiration from.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
So going back, man, this April will be, I think, 16 years for you in business. That's what the research says.
All right.
What have you learned in those 16 years about business when we talk about tattooing? Because you've kind of transitioned, as I've been watching, from tattoo to painting. Didn't really see you in the public. Now you're in the public a lot. I saw you at an event with Wallow, Megan Good,
Right.
and all that. So where's that transition for you?
You saying where am I at now?
No, I mean, you talked about going into doing so much more in the public.
Right.
Has that been a transition for you?
Yeah, it's just been, the more exposure I get. Well, I moved my studio from Garner to downtown Raleigh back in 2021.
Yeah.
So when a lot of people found out where I was, it was easier for people to reach out to me for those type of events where I met Wallow and Megan Good.
Yeah.
When I was down in the country, nobody, you had to know somebody to know me.
Yeah.
So it definitely came from the exposure.
So moving downtown Raleigh is a good move for you.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So the exposure was one part, and then me constantly working at my craft and my work getting better, my following getting better online.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, that's a combination of all those things.
So I've talked to some people who've gotten some work done from you, and there's tattoo polish. They're everywhere. Usually when you can go in, hey, I want this on my arm, boom, done. They said you don't work like that. They said you have a process where you ask all these questions and you go into the zone with them, and it's not, you won't let them just come in and get a tattoo.
Right.
Talk about that.
Well, yeah, I like to do a consultation with every client before I schedule the appointment.
Okay.
Just to make sure we're on the same vibe, to make sure, one, that I'm interested in doing the piece. And lately, like the last year, I've narrowed down my work to where I'm only doing large-scale black and gray pieces. So I'm no longer doing color and cover-ups and all the other things that I was doing coming up. So it's really it's mostly about the vibe.
Yeah.
If the vibe is right and the energy is right, I'll book it. But yeah.
Yeah, I got you. Vibe is important. I heard you earlier, and it seems like, man, you're really getting intentional with kind of your path and everything, and I like that. Let's talk a little about wellness. So if you find me in the morning, 5:30, 6 o'clock, I'm in the gym. So sometimes I'll pull my phone out and I'll go on Instagram and search. One day I'm in there and I'm going through the stories, and your story pops up, and you and your boys in the gym working out.
Right.
Talk to me a little about wellness for you.
I think it's important.
Yeah.
I think, well, the more I work out and the more I'm conscious of what I'm eating, the better I feel. So right now, I'm kind of climbing back, trying to get back in the gym and get my eating back right. But I think it's super important. It's super important to keep your health right, because
Can you see a correlation? Because like for me, when I don't work out, I don't show up the same. Like my friends will even say, "Yo, did you work out this morning?"
Right.
No, I didn't, and I feel different.
Right.
Do you feel that with your art? Like if you haven't worked out, that you feel different, or is it just more so just trying to be healthy?
I don't think so, because I can create when I'm like out of the gym for 6 months, and I can create. I think there is a difference, though. I do have a different drive whenever I'm in my workout routine and I'm eating right, and because it's like a self-confidence I have, so I can perform quicker and more efficient. So yeah, I think the health part affects every part of my life.
I love it.
Yeah, definitely.
Talk to me about, we know you, Chris Evans, we know what you do. If you weren't painting, you weren't doing tattoos, what would you be doing?
I'll probably be a bartender somewhere in the Caribbean on the beach.
So So I've heard you mention
full-time.
travel. I've heard you mention international travel about 10 times.
Yeah.
Either now or through the, earlier in the show. What is it about traveling that vibes with you?
I just love seeing new things and reminding myself that the world is bigger than where I grew up at. Meeting new people.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, the world is beautiful, so I want to see all of it.
See, I love what you just said. The world is beautiful. It's perspective.
Yeah.
So last question for you. Up in the corner is J. Cole, but J. Cole is over there and he's behind me too.
Right.
He's in the room the most. Is there a reason to that?
Well, I'm a huge J. Cole fan. He's a North Carolina native.
Yeah.
That was the first J. Cole piece that I painted, and it went viral on Twitter, and I ended up getting it to him. And
I saw that,
I think after that, I was even more of a J. Cole fan. So
So Jay has that?
No, he didn't keep the painting, but I took a picture, got some videos, and like chopped it up with him for 10, 12 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a cool moment, but a fan ended up buying it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's about it, man. We appreciate all the information, all the wealth of knowledge, and just your vibe, man. We appreciate you coming on the show.
I appreciate y'all.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
What's up, good people? We are back here at GoodTrip Gallery, GoodTrip Inc. We got my man, Chris Evans. Chris, we asked you a whole lot of questions, bro. Kirk alluded to it, but I'm curious, man. I don't even know if you're able to put it in this realm, but is there a favorite piece of art in here, man? And why?
Yes, it's that piece. It's named Our Roots, and it's a picture of an African woman with a red veil over her head. And I painted the continent of Africa on top of her face. And yeah, that's probably the piece that connects with me the most.
Conceptually, where did that come from?
So I was inspired to do it after my trip to Zambia in 2016. And when I started it off, I was gonna paint the whole picture black and gray. And then I wanted to show that we all come from Africa, like all different people. So that's why I did a continent of Africa in all different colors like that, too.
I love it.
To show that that's the, that's the home.
I got a question along that same vein, from the tattoo industry. Like, what would you say your tattoo style is? Is it like realism, black and white? What's your tattoo style that you're known for?
I would say photorealism. I like to do anything real, like plants and animals and portraits. I do a little bit of everything, but I enjoy the most doing portraits, as you can see, painting people and tattooing people.
I would imagine that's real difficult, taking someone's life and putting it on their arm and making sure they still look like the person that they gave you.
Right. Well, sometimes it is. I've done it so many times, it's like second nature to me now.
It looks like it.
Yeah,
it looks like it.
Yeah.
So we talked about travel a bit earlier, and you talked about going to Africa. We're all kind of well traveled. We want to travel. We love new places. Is there anywhere you would consider living internationally?
I was going to ask you that. Where would I want to live? I would say Costa Rica.
Why?
Yeah. Costa Rica was like real easy going. It was like the closest to, I'm not gonna say America, but it was like everybody was laid back. Their like motto is the pura vida, like so.
Well, what's that mean? Hold on now, help me out now. What's pura vida now?
Go ahead.
I think it stands for pure life. So it's like think like a Hakuna Matata type thing.
It's their way of living.
Right.
Everything's simple.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's probably a place where I could see myself living.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody was super cool. Every place I went, food was great, the weather was perfect.
So you liked it, because you kind of give off that vibe. You like kind of balanced life, simple, keep stuff
Right.
simple.
Right,
Less
right.
words, just keep it simple.
Exactly.
I like that. What about y'all?
Consider living.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of my time in the Asian parts. I really appreciated the way that they treat the opposite sex. So yeah, I think I wouldn't mind going to Asia.
Yeah.
I really wouldn't mind.
Okay.
Yeah, just because I've had that experience.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Singapore,
Yeah.
Thailand.
Yeah.
I agree.
Right?
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Dollar goes a long way too.
Exactly.
That's yeah. Jay?
I'll probably say London. I've been to London a few times. It's the closest thing to here. You don't have the language barrier. There's a lot of black wealth out there. And it reminded me of home more so than anywhere else I've been.
Yeah. I'm going to say Thailand too, in that region.
Right.
Somewhere in that region. Cost of living,
Yeah, I love it. I got one more before we go into the segment. Words matter, images matter. Obviously, as a creative, there's things that run through your mind. If you don't write it down, you'll forget. But I'm curious, your logo, to me, it looks like a light bulb with a brain inside of it. Right. But when you created that, what was the thought process behind that, and what does it mean?
So it basically represents a thought, like to think, or an idea. But yeah, it's a brain inside a light bulb. The light bulb is like the idea part. The brain is the mental part of it. So it's basically, and I did, when I was sketching it out, it looked a little different than this. My main goal was to just create something to make people think. I didn't want it to look like a brain at first. And then I sent it to a designer and it came back a little more defined as the brain. But that's basically what it is. It's just to provoke thought.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what I want my artwork to do.
Yeah,
right.
To provoke thought.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Well, look, bro, we asked you a whole lot of questions. We got a segment on the show. This one's called Flip the Script. And it gives you an opportunity where you become the host. You can ask us anything you want, whether that's collectively or individually. The mic is yours.
All right. So I'll ask each one of y'all a question. So if I go with you first, what is your dream salary?
I usually don't go first, but since you the guest and I gave you the mic.
I love that you did that. I love that. I love that.
Oh man, dream salary.
You gotta have a goal written down.
Dream salary, wow. I don't define happiness by money, so that's a tough one for me because I've traveled the world. I've made money at such a young age. I've ran businesses. I've done things before 25 in an entrepreneurial space that, man, so now I'm living in purpose. So wow, my dream. If I had to put a number on it, like that sucks, man. Like to put a number on it.
I think he's stalling, man.
Yeah. He's stalling though, man.
He's stalling over here, man.
What's the? I'll be honest with you, man. I want to be able to swipe the card and not think about what it is I'm swiping it for. What's in the account is irrelevant to me, as long as I'm able to live that type of lifestyle.
Well, he's dancing.
Let me ask you one more time.
Chris, I ain't heard no numbers. I ain't heard no numbers.
Let's
Like,
start with the top.
what's the number?
What is your dream salary?
$1 million plus.
$1 million plus.
$1 million plus yearly, annually.
That's it?
In multiple streams. Yeah.
I like that. Well, you took my question about where to live. Where would you want to live?
Good.
If you weren't doing what you're doing in your career right now, what would you want to be doing?
First of all, I love what we're doing.
Right.
I really I created this. Like in my head in 2017, everything in my life right now, I created it. But if I wasn't doing this, I'd be coaching basketball. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I can see that.
Yeah. Coach Carter.
Slamming folks up against the wall.
Coach, it'd be like a little bit Coach Carter, a little bit Lean on Me. You know what I'm saying? Y'all remember?
With the bat.
Sing that song.
Let's see. Man, I wish I would have did some research on y'all like y'all did me. I didn't know I was going to get this
You're
opportunity.
going to make me cry out here or something.
Let's see. All right, I'll go easy. I don't have a deep one for you. What's your favorite movie?
Coming to America.
2?
The original one.
2.
I was about to say.
I thought he was gonna say 2.
That's disrespectful. Like that was totally
2.
disrespectful.
I've
That's a
probably seen that
classic.
movie at least 500 times.
Yeah. Me too.
Ad libs, all the ad libs.
Well, okay, real quick, what's your favorite part?
I love the intro. You know, when they come in dancing. That's yeah, I'm gonna go with the dance scene just right off the bat. You know, you see.
Is that a classic top 5 movie?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Is it?
I think that for me,
Everybody in the crowd say yes.
it was one of the first times that you saw multi-dimensional black men, because I remember when they were in the club and they were playing the women that they were talking to. So Arsenio was playing the same person that they were talking to. Like that was the first time as a kid I saw that before Nutty Professor, right? Because remember that's when Nutty Professor hit, he played all those roles.
Yeah.
Well, Coming to America was the first time I saw that as a kid.
Yeah.
The barbershop.
In the barbershop, he played the bar. You know what I mean? Think about how many roles Arsenio and Eddie played.
And I really believe. I saw Eddie in the movie last night, but I really believe he's unsung still. That guy is talented.
Right.
Man. Eddie is talented. Everybody says it.
Yeah.
All the comedians. He's talented, man. To be able to play that many roles.
I actually changed that. The club scene. Where they're interviewing all the different guests.
Oh, you used to like that.
Yeah, that's
like that. That's what I'm talking about, right? Yeah. Absolutely.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I believe there would be no Martin if there was no Eddie.
I can see that.
There'd be no Eddie if there were no Richard Pryor.
Well, you keep going. There'd be no Chris Rock.
All right.
Absolutely. I love
That's
it.
true too.
I love it. Yeah. I love it. Oh, did you have any more? I mean, hey, we don't want to stop your shine. You got the mic.
Yeah, I wasn't prepared to ask y'all a question. Yeah,
Those
I
are
could
good
ask
questions,
y'all
though.
a bunch of questions.
Those are good questions.
That was, man. But we got another segment, man. This one right here is a picture segment. Well, we talked about being intentional. And one thing that we do have to control is to press that post button on social media. So we went to GoodTrip Gallery on Instagram. We went to GoodTrip Inc. Got a couple pictures. This one right here, I want to start with this one. This is on the ink side. I'm curious, man. They say that pictures tell a story. You talked about your ink telling a story. When I saw this picture, man, like we got 440, we got rough Raleigh, we got Egyptian. Like you did this, but is there a story that you know of behind this? I don't know who this person is, but when I saw it, I was like, man, like there's gotta be a story behind that one, man. Talk to us about that.
That's one of my homeboys. He's from Raleigh, and he came to me with. He said he wanted a Raleigh back piece. He gave me a list of ideas, and that was a piece I came up with about 10 years ago, I think. Wow. But that was like one of my staple pieces back then. It was kind of going around. That's a piece like people know me from.
Really?
Is that Raleigh back piece.
Is that Raleigh back piece, man. When I saw it, I was like, wow, that's really, how long did it take you to do that, bro?
We did it in a bunch of sessions, so it probably took 12, 16 hours to do it, but it was a fun piece.
Sure
it's one of my favorites.
Is it?
Yeah.
When I saw it, I was like, man, that was pretty deep.
Yeah, man.
How long ago was that one?
Maybe 2013, 14, 15, somewhere in there.
That was beginning time? Was that like?
No, not beginning. I started back in 2006, so that was about halfway in.
Seasoned, then. You're confident.
I felt like I was.
Your chest was poked out.
Right, a little bit.
How many tattoos do you have yourself?
That's a good one.
I have no idea, man.
That many?
Yeah, I got them like everywhere. My back, chest, stomach, leg.
Who does your work?
All different artists. I probably have 15, 20 different artists.
Okay.
Yeah, if I check out their portfolio, if I like their work, I book them.
Okay.
Really? So you may not even know them. You have that confidence is from another artist to allow someone to do what you do
Right.
and not even know them.
Right. I found an Atlanta artist on Instagram last year and flew down and got my neck done. Got my whole neck done in Atlanta.
That's right,
so,
too. Yeah.
Yeah, their work is dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can look at somebody's work
can
and
see
tell
it.
if they know what they're doing. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
This one, I just thought this one was gangster. when I saw it, I was like, yo, this is gangster. Where were you at? What were you doing? And then describe the code for me, because you wrote on there, some men see things as they are and ask why. I dream of things that never were and ask why not.
Yeah.
And then hashtag Columbia, but then you got it looks like an equation there, and it looks like you put it there on purpose. Or was I just thinking too much into it?
Yeah, I didn't put that there.
Oh, that just happened to
Oh
be
no,
there?
that's like the feet of the pool.
Okay. I thought it was something cryptic. When you see the picture, you'll see what I'm talking about.
No.
But talk to me, like, where were you at, man? What was going on there?
So that was in Columbia. That's like an infinity pool at the hotel. And that was a super fun trip too. And the quote, I actually had that tattooed on both of my arms, 2 parts of that same quote. But yeah, I mean, I'm more of like the curious type, or so the some men see things as they are and ask why. Yeah, I like to turn things and look at it from a different angle instead of like the popular angle. So that's me. I'm always looking at everything like that. Why not?
Why not?
Yeah, I'm the why not person out of the group.
Yeah.
Right.
You need a why not person, right? That's how dreams become reality.
Right. That's real.
Indeed. I dig that. That's what makes us tick. Why not us? Right? We say that all the time. Why not us?
Exactly.
Indeed. This one hit a little different, man. One, I'm a food connoisseur, and we talk about mental wellness all the time. Oftentimes, as men, as black men, and as men, period, we'll smile, right? That outer layer of us. But you can see who the photo is of this, right? Yeah. So you took a photo, let them know who's in the photo, and then why? Like, why did you paint that person? How did that hit a little different for you?
So this is a painting of Anthony Bourdain. I actually just sold that original about 2-3 weeks ago. But I didn't know about Anthony Bourdain until last summer. I had a guy come in and he got an Anthony Bourdain tattoo. Yeah. So I did some research on him before he came in to get tattooed, and found out about his book, Kitchen Confidential. I haven't read it yet, but I read up a little bit on him, and he has like a crazy story. So that's why in the last 6 months, I painted him 3 times. Yeah. But yeah, I think his story is pretty dope.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
We talk about living your passion.
Right.
Now, some of the things that he did, I questioned as far as what he was eating, but I understood culturally why, based on where he was at, and then having an eclectic palate, like at least trying, right? I really could dig that about a person. You never know what a person is dealing with. We all deal with different devils on different levels, so to look at it from the outside looking in, man, this guy is living his best life.
Right.
Like, this dude is going to places that I can't even spell. And I think that wellness part, I know that wellness part, that's why it's so important. We talk about living out our dash.
Yeah.
Right? In between the day that we were born and the day that God calls us home, and making that be purposeful. So, yeah, I really could dig that, man. Thank you for sharing, bro.
No, thank you.
So, well, we got one more set. We want to do something for him, man. We asked you, we talk about words mattering, right? And they being powerful. We asked you what's a word that you use to describe yourself, or just how you feeling right now. And you said, you know what, man? I'm feeling happy.
All right.
I wrote a song about it. I'm not going to sing it. Nonetheless, man, we want to do something special for you.
All right.
So, Chris, we got a $2 bill here. Unique, rare, obviously. You're unique. We have to explain that to you. On the back, our whole team signed it for you. On the front, it says you matter. You know, when people get work done, it speaks to a lot of like life issues and things like that. So the work you do is very needed for people. So we appreciate that. We wrote the word happy on it for you, and it's just like a keepsake for you.
Man, I appreciate that, man.
Hopefully we can make. I know you got a lot of nice art around here. I get it. Yeah. But hopefully that'll make it somewhere. It ain't a $3,000 painting.
No, I'm gonna post it up in the gallery, man. I thank y'all. Yeah, I appreciate it.
I got one more question. I thought about this just now. You answered it indirectly when we were talking about your tattoos. I have 6. I gotta say, probably my baby girl is my favorite. I didn't see my daughter when she was born because I was overseas at the time, traveling with the government. So when she was born, I didn't see her until she was 8 months old. So the first time I saw her was in a picture.
Right.
I took that same picture, and I was in the Philippines at the time. And I took that picture to a tattoo artist. Now, I let 2 of my shipmates go first because it's a third world country, and I let them get the tattoo and waited 2 days to
Get the
make
test
sure
done.
everything, I wanted to make sure everything was kosher. I want my arm to fall off, then I went, and then just to be good. But I bring that up because that's one of my favorites. It sounded as if you have a whole sleeve and your whole body is covered, but out of all of your tattoos, is there a favorite, and why?
Probably I have family tattooed right here on my arm, so it's probably my family tattoo. Yeah.
Yeah, I can dig that.
Yeah.
We always end the show the same way, and this tonight will be no different. It's a quote about art. It says, well, first and foremost, thank you for coming. I don't want to be rude. Yeah, thank you for coming. We appreciate,
thank you for bringing us. Yeah, we in his space.
Into your space. Remind the people really quickly, man, GoodTrip Gallery, GoodTrip Inc. Tell us the address.
So we're at GoodTrip Gallery, 416 South McDowell Street, Raleigh, North Carolina. And the website is www.goodtripgallery.com. And Instagram is GoodTrip Gallery.
Clearly he's done this before.
Couple times.
Please, man, come check him out. You'll see the B-roll of all of this great art in here. Come feel the vibe. And if not, I got one more, man. Now you're doing all black and white. You mentioned earlier that you don't do color anymore.
Right.
And now all you do is the black and white. Why?
Just to focus on black and gray and this is my last year tattooing, so I want to build my black and gray portfolio of work that I focus on just black and gray. Because I've always been bouncing around these last 15, 16 years doing repairing tattoos, doing color, doing all types of stuff. So I wanted to narrow it down this last year and get good at one thing.
Y'all heard that, right? This is his last year of doing tattoos. You heard that right here on the Bro Code Show. So book them now. Not now, when? Right now.
There you go.
Well, we appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for letting
I
us
appreciate y'all.
Yeah, man. Tonight's quote reads, "Living is the art of getting used to what we didn't expect."
Damn, I
Boy,
like that.
Troy, Bill Smith,
Kurt.
and we are the Bro Code.
Just to wake up, another day that get my kick up. 'Cause every time I wake up, I get a chance to wake up. Wake up. I'm in a new Diablo. Father trust me like I'm Pablo. Sunday service on the front stoop with a cup of tea in the condo. Tony Evans kicking convo, walking me through my storm. And I ain't grew up hearing gospel, but I got it praying this morning. I done been through this a time or two. I keep going back, but now I'm finally through. I'm like, if I was God, I'd be tired of you. But he be open arms like he desire you.